I'm sharing the top 12 cryptos I'm buying right now for the upcoming bull market. I've been preparing for this bull market since late 2022, when I put nearly my entire net worth into crypto just about a week from the exact bottom of the market. Obviously, I have ended up doing really well since then. It ended up working out for me, and I've had some positions go up 200%, some positions go up 2,000%, and some positions go up, well, even a lot higher than that. However, if I'm right about the upcoming bull market, then the vast majority of the gains that I expect to see during this cycle are actually still ahead. Last cycle, I was able to turn a $760 investment into over $150,000. I was able to turn a $3,000 investment into over $600,000. And I had a lot of other positions just do insanely well. And that's the kind of price action that historically has happened during what I call the parabolic phase of the bull market. And I believe this cycle we'll see something similar happen. And that's why I'm stacking my portfolio in anticipation for this parabolic phase of the market. I'll also be sharing a little bit later in the video exactly when I expect this next phase of the bull market to get started, which I did the same thing last year, and I almost perfectly nailed how the rally would play out in late 2023. And spoiler alert, I think this next phase of the bull market is going to happen a lot sooner than most people expect. The first token that I'm literally buying right now to prepare for this next phase of the market is ResearchCoin. ResearchCoin is co-founded by none other than Brian Armstrong. The same Brian Armstrong who founded Coinbase, one of the most popular crypto exchanges on the face of the planet. And this is maybe one of the easiest plays I've ever seen if things do end up playing out the way that I expect. Brian is one of the most prominent and well-known figures within the crypto space. And he's built Coinbase into a $60 billion company. He has the resources and expertise to build Research Hub into a powerhouse in the open science space. On top of that, I also just think it's a really compelling narrative. I just can't imagine that most crypto influencers and content creators won't latch onto this narrative that Brian Armstrong is the co-founder, therefore it'll probably go up. I also think your average person is just going to easily spread that narrative too. It's just a really easy thing for you to be like, say you own some ResearchCoin and you're talking to your cousin who wants to get into crypto and you're like, oh, you should buy ResearchCoin. Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase, is the co-founder of this project. That's the kind of viral concept, narrative, and idea that spreads in a bull market really easily. And I think if I told you today that, with Brian Armstrong as the co-founder, ResearchCoin was sitting at $10 billion in market cap, you'd easily believe that was possible. Doge, Shiba Inu, XRP, Cardano all sit above $10 billion in market cap. In fact, Doge sits at $20 billion in market cap, and XRP sits at $30 billion in market cap. So it's not a stretch to believe that a project co-founded by the founder of Coinbase would be sitting at around $10 billion in market cap. However, the reality is ResearchCoin today sits at around $15 million in market cap, meaning it's really tiny as far as crypto projects go. It's like one of the smallest crypto projects out there, which is wild to me because Brian Armstrong directly features that he's the co-founder of Research Hub in his Twitter bio. And yet, despite his direct connection to the project, it's sitting at a really minuscule market cap today. And I believe this is just because the vast majority of people aren't aware that this project even exists. However, typically when a crypto bull market hits into overdrive, it hits the mania phase, retail floods into the space, they typically suss out really any opportunity that exists within the space. And because of all this, I believe ResearchCoin is primed for a run-up during a crypto bull run. And my personal view and belief, if everything went right and we had this full-fledged crypto bull run, is that we could see ResearchCoin hit as high as $10 billion in market cap during this cycle. And that's a 667x from here, turning every $1,000 invested into $667,000. Keep in mind, the liquidity for RSC, the token for Research Hub, is actually really low right now. And when liquidity is really low like this, it means that the token's price can move up and down really easily. So it takes only a small amount of buying pressure to just skyrocket the price of RSC, and then a small amount of selling pressure to absolutely dump the price of RSC. So be aware if you see the price of RSC like skyrocket to 70 million, it could very easily dump all the way back down to 15 million with just a little bit of selling pressure. And my guess or hope is that in the future, with Brian's involvement, more liquidity will get deployed to this project, allowing bigger players to jump in with larger amounts of capital. Which, by the way, really quick, none of this is investment advice. I said, my prediction is that it could go to $10 billion. That's not me saying that it will go to $10 billion. That's just my personal belief. Think of my channel like a giant Pinterest board where you can learn about my ideas, the things I think about the market, and what I'm doing with my own money. But you should never take it as investment advice for you. I don't know who you are. I don't know your personal situation. And you should always do your own research. The ticker for Research Coin is RSC, and it can be bought on Ethereum via CowSwap. The second token that I'm currently buying in anticipation of this next phase of the bull market is Winner. Winner is sitting at just $11 million in market cap today. However, I believe it's primed to go much, much higher from here. Winner is building out the infrastructure for truly on-chain betting, gambling, and more. And my personal belief is that we'll see this industry continue to grow within the crypto space, and eventually we'll see the majority of online gambling and betting happening on chain. For example, Polymarket has seen wide mainstream success with mainstream media, presidential candidates, and more referencing the site on a regular basis. Polymarket's a prediction market, or a place anyone can go place bets on any outcome. Meme coins are another form of crypto betting, where investors bet on which memes will rally in the future and hope to make a fortune in the process. There are currently a number of crypto gambling platforms. However, none of the major crypto gambling platforms are what's called on-chain platforms. They're basically simply traditional gambling platforms that accept crypto as a form of payment, and maybe they have some sort of token that allows you to participate in the process. Winner is a radically different concept. It's building infrastructure for true on-chain gambling. And with Winner, anyone can build a game, app, or front end anywhere in the world. Where traditional gambling platforms would be more like old school phones, where they only come with their pre-installed apps. There's no way to download and install different apps from different developers, and you're kind of just like stuck with whatever the phone manufacturer put on the phone. Winner acts similar to something like the iPhone App Store, allowing builders and developers all over the world to experiment with new ideas for apps, games, front ends, and more. With Winner, anyone can build a front end website and brand, and anyone can build a new game. This allows many simultaneous experiments to play out, and the best of the best to rise to the top. And this is a concept that I think most people don't appreciate how powerful it really is. Imagine if you personally could magically start 1,000 different businesses all at the same time, with 1,000 of your best ideas all happening simultaneously, seeing which ones work and which ones don't. What do you think the odds would be of one of your ideas working and you becoming obscenely successful? I would personally say probably pretty high. The problem is a normal person can only try one idea at a time. And sometimes it takes years worth of work and a lot of money and investment to see if that idea will actually work or not. This is the exact same dynamic that Winner is leveraging, and why I'm so bullish on the concept as a whole. Today already, they have 3 different front ends for their platform. They have PlusBet, they have JustBet, and they have DGensBet. They've also built multiple on-chain games, a crypto futures platform, that's DGensBet, launched a fully on-chain Texas Hold'em game, launched the world's first fully on-chain slot game. They've reached close to $7 billion in volume and over $2 million in revenue, plus they've done just like so much more than this. The one thing that I've really noticed about this team is they build like crazy and they really deliver. Coming up, they have their own meme coin launchpad similar to Pump.Fun. They're launching their own L2 Winner chain. They have tons of new games coming, sports betting, and they seem to be hinting at a potential Polymarket competitor. And I am in fact so bullish on this concept and what they're building that in just preparing for this video, I ended up buying more Winner because I was so bullish just reading through all the things that they were doing. The ticker for Winner is Winner, WINR, and it could be bought on Arbitrum using Ravi's built-in swap or via CowSwap, which is now on Arbitrum as well. And I have 10 other crypto tokens that I'm buying right now as well, including some that I'm insanely excited about. And I'm going to share those in a second, as well as my prediction on when the next phase of the bull market is going to start. But really quick, the Obsidian Council is my private research community where I share monthly research, my entire portfolio updated monthly with the exact allocation I bought and a ton more. We've had projects like Pendle, which is up over 1,500%, projects like Solana, which is up over 779%, projects like Akash, which is up over 1,700%. And recently I got really lucky with GOON and it went up over 179,000%. That definitely is not typically normal, and that's definitely an outlier example. We also have the Airdrop guide, which some members made over $26,000 last year from airdrops alone, covering their entire membership for literally decades. I personally made well over 100K between this year and last, and I share everything I'm personally doing with airdrops with the community via the monthly Airdrop guide. The Obsidian Council is currently closed, but if you want to join the waitlist, there's a link in the description of this this video. Project number 3 that I'm buying right now is IMX. And this is one that I've covered a ton already, so I'm gonna make this one pretty brief. I believe that crypto gaming will be huge this cycle. And that belief is based off the fact that back in 2021, Axie Infinity took off. A lot of people thought it was gonna be a really big deal. Hundreds of millions of dollars poured into the space, and a lot of investment went into upcoming and future games. Now, obviously, game development takes a couple years to actually do well. And now between 2024 and 2025, those investments are finally coming to fruition. And we have literally hundreds of games launching between this year and next year. And we're back in 2021, we had a lot of just like normal crypto devs trying to design games. This cycle, we have a lot of AAA studios and actually really talented teams building various games within the crypto gaming space. And I believe all we need is one single successful game to kick off a rampant speculation in the space as everyone tries to predict the next successful game and all the other bells and whistles they believe will be fundamental to the space. IMX, in my opinion, is the Bitcoin of crypto gaming. It accounts for the vast majority of games launching, literally hundreds of crypto games coming out this year and next from IMX. And if you want a full breakdown, check out my video on Immutable, which again, their ticker is IMX, and IMX can be bought easily on Coinbase. The fourth token that I'm buying for the next phase of the crypto bull market is Index. This is another one I've already covered in depth already, so again, I'll make this one brief. Index, I believe, is one of the most underrated altcoins on the market today. It's a really simple concept. They launch on-chain indexes of various sectors of the crypto market. And with millions of crypto tokens launching every single month, even with me being full-time in crypto, it's very difficult to catch up on everything that's being built and all the various sectors of crypto that are springing up. An index makes it insanely easy to invest into the crypto space. You pick a sector like crypto AI, crypto gaming, DePIN, DeFi, DeSci, Solana projects, Memecoins, whatever. And instead of going and buying every individual project within that sector that you're interested in, you simply buy an index of that sector that has a basket of assets that's constantly rebalanced for you. These types of products are already massively successful in traditional finance. A lot of people invest into indexes like the S&P 500, etc. And in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before we see this happen within the crypto space as well. An index's insane superpower is their new PRT token model. And you really should watch my entire video on it because it's extremely difficult to break down quickly. But basically, it allows them to constantly launch and print new tokens for each new index without diluting supply of the index token. It's literally like a money printer for index, and it allows them to launch a lot more indexes faster. I know that sounds too good to be true, and it's because you're missing a huge piece of this puzzle that I don't have the time to explain right now. But again, if you go watch my full video on it, I explain a lot more in depth how this works and why not only does it not hurt the price of index or hurt the token supply of index, but it actually increases the value of index by printing all these PRTs. Index is currently sitting at around $23 million in market cap. The ticker for index is index, INDEX, and it can easily be bought on ETH via CouchSwap, or you can just buy it on Coinbase as well. The fifth asset that I'm buying for the next phase of the upcoming crypto bull market is Persona. You're gonna hear me say this a lot. This is yet another one that I've already made an entire video on if you really want to go in depth. And Persona is an NFT. And right now, NFTs are hated. And most people think NFTs are dead. And you're probably even thinking to yourself, I want to skip this portion of the video. I'm not interested in NFTs right now. And I disagree with this. The best opportunities are often hated and ignored when they're at peak buying opportunity. My thesis is if we see another insane bull market and everyone is yet again feeling hilariously rich, that people will inevitably look around and be like, well, NFTs are really cheap right now. What if they come back? I have all this extra capital. I'm going to buy some NFTs just in case. You're also just gonna have people who wanna flex by buying some NFTs and showing off their NFT collection, just like they did last cycle. This will act as a self-fulfilling prophecy and push up prices, causing more and more people to jump in and a new NFT cycle to emerge, in my opinion. But this can only come after people have already made money on the blue chips, the alts, and have extra cash to throw around, which is why we aren't seeing it today. NFTs are typically a late cycle phenomenon and not an early cycle phenomenon. Again, I have a full video on this if you wanna dive deeper into my thesis on Persona. Persona today is about $4 million in market cap, and there's a lot more to this play than just the NFT. There's also a token, the UNA token, that gets rewarded to NFT holders via staking, and all of this is from a crypto gaming team that's made up of ex-Ubisoft devs. I own a lot of Personas. This is a really cool play in my opinion, and we'll see how it plays out. You can buy Persona NFTs via Blur on Ethereum. The sixth token that I'm buying for the next phase of the bull market is Matic. Matic is already pretty big, sitting around $4.9 billion in total market yeah. However, I believe it's primed to go much higher from here. That's because the Matic token is becoming the POL token. The token is getting an upgrade to reflect its new role in the wider AFFLIATE ecosystem. The old Matic token just secured Polygon's POS chain. POL, however, is going to secure an entire universe of various different chains, all within the wider AFFLIATE ecosystem. Plus, it just has a ton of added new utility and use cases. And the upgrade from Matic turning into POL is slated to happen on September 4th of this year. And the AFFLIATE already has different chains building on it, such as Telegram's Ton chain, Ronin, the crypto gaming giant, OKX with its 50 million users, Immutable, not to mention crypto's currently most successful mainstream app, Polymarket, is built on Polygon. Plus, if you're bullish on crypto gaming, between Ronin, Immutable, and Polygon, that's like 90% of all crypto gaming, which is all tied into the AFFLIATE. I have an entire deep dive video as well as multiple podcasts with the CEO Mark, the co-founder Sandeep, and the co-founder Brendan. And you can buy Polygon's Matic token on Coinbase today. And again, in the future, that'll be the POL token. Token number 7 that I'm buying for the next phase of the crypto bull market is GOON. This is an extremely tiny meme coin that's extremely high risk, and I'd be really careful with it. The idea is that every crypto chain basically has their own meme coin mascot. Solana has Whiff and Bonk, ETH has Shiba, Doge, and Pepe, Avalanche has their rooster themed meme coin Cock, and Base has Toshi and Mr. Miggles. And if you're new to meme coins, obviously they're not like a traditional real investment, they're just jokes, but these things could reach insane market caps, some of them reaching as high as 10 billion, 30 billion, and in the case of Doge, it went as high as $69 billion last cycle. And my thesis is basically Polygon currently doesn't have a clear meme coin mascot, and GOON has the potential to be that mascot. The Polygon community calls themselves the Polygons, or the Goons for short. And this comes directly from Sandeep, the co-founder of Polygon, who kind of nicknamed the community this. And so far, this meme coin's a little over a month old. The chart has stayed mostly sideways, despite pretty much every other meme coin collapsing on Polygon during that same time frame. Lastly, if I'm right about Polygon and it ends up doing really well, that should bleed into the top meme coins on Polygon as well. It's obviously a very long shot bet, and I really want to emphasize the risks that come with meme coins and how quickly they can collapse. These are not like any sort of traditional investment. You have to be extremely careful and only put in money that you're definitely willing to part with and lose if things don't go well. I also want to disclose that I'm currently the biggest whale holder when it comes to GOON. It was an accident. I didn't mean for this to happen. I have an entire story about how I turned essentially a couple $1,000s into, on paper, over $3 million with GOON. If you want to watch the entire video, it's actually a really wild and crazy story that's on my channel. The ticker for this one is called GOON. It's currently on Polygon, and it's kind of tricky to buy because it's a meme coin and it's super small. So I've included a link in this video for the sake of people not getting confused if you want to go check it out and look more in depth. However, again, want to emphasize high risk and you should do your own research. Token number 8 is Across. This one has been doing really well, and it's one I've been talking about for a bit. Across builds products around what's called cross-chain intents. It's basically a way to move funds between chains really quick and really cheaply. They have the Across bridge, consistently the cheapest and fastest bridge in all of crypto by far. It's actually insane if you've ever used it. They have Across Plus, which focuses around cross-chain bridge hooks, and Across Settlement, a settlement layer for cross-chain intents. And I personally believe the role that intents-based architecture in crypto will play this cycle will only continue to grow. Across is currently a killer team. They're running circles around the competition. Today, it sits at around $55 million in market cap. The ticker is ACX, and you can get it on CowSwap on Ethereum. Token number 9 that I'm buying in anticipation for the next phase of the bull market is Cow. Cow Protocol is currently out innovating the entire rest of the DEX space, in my opinion. They have 4 different products: Cow Protocol, a DEX aggregation protocol; CowSwap, the best DEX experience in all of crypto, in my opinion; Cow AMM, the first ever MEV capturing AMM; and MEV Blocker, which protects users from MEV attacks. Cow Protocol and CowSwap are also building using intents-based architecture, meaning they're able to deliver cheaper prices than anyone else. You may have heard of Uniswap v4 doing something similar, and they actually got this concept from Cow Protocol, or at least Cow Protocol built all this and had it live before I ever saw an announcement from Uniswap about this. The team, in my opinion, is one of the best in the space, and I've gotten something like $22,000 in surplus tokens just by using CowSwap versus another DEX. Right now, CowSwap is just on Ethereum, and they recently expanded to Arbitrum, but it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before they're on the majority of other chains. My thesis around CowSwap is currently they're one of the most innovative teams in the space. I love the experience of Cow Swap, like far and above any other swap experience. The ticker for Cow Protocol is COW, and you can buy COW on Cow Swap on Ethereum. And I have 3 different projects left, as well as I'm going to be sharing when exactly I think this next phase of the crypto bull market is going to start. But I wanted to say really quick that these 12 tokens aren't my entire crypto portfolio. I have over 50 different tokens in my portfolio, and this video would literally take forever if I were to go through every single one. If you want access to my entire portfolio with constant updates on when I buy and sell different tokens, you can join the waitlist for the Obsidian Council and hopefully get in next time I open back up. Token number 10 is ETH. With the ETH ETF going live, I expect ETH to do really well going forward. Ethereum is extremely illiquid. That's because most ETH is used for DeFi, held in treasuries, used to pay gas fees, staked for yield, and any number of various things. Today, the amount of ETH held on exchanges, according to CryptoQuant, is around 13 million ETH. That means just a small amount of demand for ETH via these ETFs can actually have an outsized effect on the price. Keep in mind as well that Ethereum is already a lot smaller in market cap than Bitcoin. So even, again, a much smaller amount of inflows into the Ethereum ETFs is going to have an outsized effect on the price. Ethereum is, of course, a lower risk play, so it means it has lower potential upside. It's not like, you're gonna 30x holding ETH or even 20x holding ETH, but it's still a really meaningful position within my portfolio, and that has to do with risk management. If you don't understand the overall strategy of investing, risk management, and how to win investing in crypto, I have a video where I dive into these things if you want to check it out. Token number 11 is Perk. This is an extremely small crypto gaming token with a market cap of just $8 million. They invest into early stage crypto games before the average person can. They also invest into crypto gaming studio, as well as they have 2 different crypto gaming products. My thought on this one is that it's so tiny today, and if I'm right about crypto gaming as a whole, then we could see projects like this one really gain traction as speculation runs rampant. With it being so small today, that means lots of potential upside in the future. The ticker for Perion is Perk, and it can be bought on CowSwap via Ethereum. And before I get to number 12, just really quick as a reminder, I'll be sharing exactly when I think the next phase of the bull market is going to get started at the end of this video. Finally, number 12 is Akash. And I'll make this brief because, again, this is another one that I've made a ton of content on already. Akash is what I call the internet of compute. Compute is a scarce resource that's used by just about everything, including AI. Recently, even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, proposed the concept of universal basic compute instead of universal basic income. The idea being that compute will actually have more value than money will in the future. It's reasons like this that recently Nvidia has skyrocketed to all-time highs. Some people think of Akash as simply a marketplace for compute similar to Amazon's AWS, which is already insanely bullish all on its own. Amazon's AWS is a $1 trillion business. I believe, however, Akash is much more than simply a marketplace for compute. I believe it's an internet of compute. Calling it just a marketplace, in my opinion, would be like calling the internet just a bunch of servers, or calling the blockchain just a giant spreadsheet, or maybe calling an NFT just a JPEG. Decentralized permissionless networks carry premiums over their centralized counterparts due to the property rights that they enable. The internet is obviously one of the most valuable resources on the planet. Bitcoin is worth over $1 trillion, while your typical spreadsheet is worth nothing. A normal JPEG is worthless, where NFTs have sold for tens of millions of dollars. Akash isn't just a marketplace, but a decentralized, permissionless way to buy and sell compute. Again, an internet of compute. And I believe we'll see apps, AI models, and more built on top of Akash. After all, you can't have a truly decentralized AI model without decentralized compute. The ticker for Akash is AKT, and you can buy it directly on Coinbase. All right, and now to when I believe the next phase of the crypto bull market will get started. I believe that the next phase of the crypto bull market will begin in late 2024. That means anytime between August and December. And this is based off the fact that there are just a ton of different catalysts that are in play that I think are going to spur this next leg of the crypto bull market, including both the Bitcoin and ETH ETFs, which despite being live, it just takes weeks, months, and sometimes years for these things to really ramp up to full speed. Despite most people expecting it to happen in a matter of days or weeks, with the gold ETF, it took months to years. So I believe as time goes on, the ETFs only get more and more bullish. You also have to remember that Wall Street now has crypto products to sell, and they're acting as essentially crypto's marketing arm, sending all this information out to all of these retail investors, to wealth managers and investment advisors, as well as they're educating these people on how these things work and why they should be buying these things. We have ahead of us one of the biggest rate cut cycles ever, and rate cuts are one of the most powerful bullish catalysts there is. I expect maybe 1 or 2 rate cuts this year, and then a ton more rate cuts in 2025. That's going to allow a lot more liquidity to flow into risk assets like crypto. We have the election, which the Biden administration was really hostile towards the crypto space, the most hostile that there's ever been. Now we have a future where it's definitely not going to be Biden, that's the president of the United States, we don't really know who it's going to be. But it does seem like, according to Polymarket, the likely candidate is going to be Trump. Both Trump and his vice president, JD Vance, are very friendly towards crypto. So most people within the crypto space are anticipating what they're calling the Trump pump to come after Trump is elected in November of 2024. If it rhymes, it has to be true. Which, as a side note, I've even seen some legitimate talk and suggestion that potentially with Trump in office, there is a potential, I'd call it a slim chance, but a potential for the US government to be buying Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset for the US government. Now that might sound insane, but you can't tell me that's more insane than what we've seen in just the past couple months when it's come to this election. I would say anything's game and up for grabs from November forward. We'll see. Finally, you have the traditional 4-year cycle, which again, typically after the halving, it takes about 3 to 5 months for the parabolic phase of the market to start. That would place it in around October. And the 4-year cycle points to a top at some point in 2025, a little bit more leaning towards late 2025, but it's possible we could see that in spring of 2025. So overall, looking at all those things, I believe it's going to get a lot more insane from here. And we're really just getting started with this phase of the crypto bull market. As always, of course, none of this is investment advice. I can't actually predict the future. You might be watching this video thinking like, oh, this is set in stone. Unfortunately, I can't predict the future. I'm not a wizard yet. So take this all with a grain of salt. These are educated guesses based off of my own research, fundamental analysis, etc. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments or any tokens that you think should be in this list, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.